So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So I did compile everything we know about Pirate King Adventures last week, and I just got the genius idea that I've already done this work. Why not just reuse it and change focus? So instead of talking about what we know, we'll focus on what we don't know, and it will be a lot of speculation and my own thoughts. I will put a disclaimer right away that my main thesis when it comes to Pirate King Adventures is that this will be something like a treasure map 2.0. And I mean that in a very positive way. It might not sound that to you, but we'll see if I can sell it or not. I'm honestly not sure if I'm sold on everything about it. It's not exactly what I want this mode to be, but yeah, let's jump into it. Let's zoom in a bit and we'll start from the top like last time. So yeah, Pirate King Adventures, and we already have that screen with Roger, and we can use this to talk about how the seasons will work for this mode. I've already touched on it a few times, so let me rehash the theory that we're getting maybe 3-month seasons. So basically from the shop, we know that the first reset of the shop will be a month after the mode launches in mid-May. So the reset is in mid-June, which conveniently is around the release of Film Red on Blu-ray in Japan. We'll see if that's connected to it. So that's a month. But we also see here on this screen that a season, it says here that we can play for 81 more days, and some say that, oh, this is an old bill, it's like from 2 months ago and it's still set to end after a month, so we're going to get 1-month seasons. But I'm not so sure, like this might be like just the day one of the mode, it lasts 82 days, 3 months, and then every month we maybe have a shop reset with some new stuff added. Maybe we have a Chopperman reset too, like the monthly point events and stuff like that. Maybe even the booster list gets some monthly changes, stuff like that could change things up a lot. One reason I think it still also might be like this is that monthly resets might get annoying. One theory I have with this is that monthly resets will really suck, because I still imagine they'll reset like your body levels, like everything you accumulate, or your level, the level of the bosses you have, because if you never reset it, like you just get higher and higher, like in a year, like are some people going to be at like level 2450 of this. Like I don't really think so. It doesn't really make much sense to me. But it also doesn't make sense to me to reset it monthly. Like imagine once a month, like, oh, I'm going to have to spend a few days against super easy bosses, just leveling up my bud level again. And then like after a week, like we can play for real. Like that also sounds dumb. So I think like 3 months might be like a pretty good thing for variety, and also just to build you up in a season. And then like when it starts getting boring, okay, let's switch it up and maybe do some other changes between the big season resets. But yeah, that's just a theory. Moving on about the map, not much to say. I can mention though, we'll see more treasures later, like we don't really know what the treasures will have in higher levels, but I do think the treasures, as well as the presents as they are called, will be the main reason to play, because we do know that you can use meat to play more than once a day. We don't know how many times you can play per day. I'm not really going to go into that in this video. But basically, just like Treasure Map, go to tie those together. Just like in Treasure Map, like it's the mode in the game that most rewards you for playing, even if you finished everything. Like I always play more than the 10 million points in Treasure Map, because the battles have good drops, the chests have good drops. It just feels good to play because you get good valuable rewards. And I think they will aim for that in this mode as well. So you always have something to do, you have some good stuff to pick up. I think we get back to that discussion in a bit. Moving on to body level. I think we basically know everything here. The main thing we don't know is like how crucial will the offensive abilities be. We'll see them up more later, but you kind of will have to balance between the body stuff that will give you extra drops, extra value, and the body abilities that let you take down the bosses to increase your defeat level. That's what it's called. Moving on again, get into presence a bit, and we can see here a bit of the stuff you can get. Like we know here that Cola is confirmed. This is defeat level 2, so very early, so it might be that as you gain defeat level, you can get better stuff. My theory is that the drops are basically going to be stuff we get from point events, so going to be like Cola, going to be experience item, maybe even wanted posters, probably skulls since we're losing ambushes. I also hope they do CC and stuff like that. Basically stuff you can't get in treasure map and that are annoying to farm in the game right now. Just put them in this mode. Then you might ask, what about Kisuna? Well, Kisuna is awful, like it needs an update. PK doesn't have anything to do with it. So we'll see how it evolves as you increase defeat level, but that's some of the stuff I expect you get. I'd say that Rainbow Turtles are basically confirmed since they are also in the shop. And honestly, having a way to get a lot of them a lot easier is going to be really nice. I'd really like to stop doing the character recruitment islands to get experience items. It's way overdue that we can get the experience resources a lot easier. But yeah, here we can also see that there are rainbow chests. We've not seen any of these open. There are also rainbow presents. And as we've seen, the presents can also drop Cola, so maybe the present also have some good stuff. I imagine that the end game will be to try and get these chests, maybe with the body stuff where you can get guaranteed drops and stuff like that. Would be really cool. Moving on. Defeat level. And yeah, we can talk about both defeat level and the actual PvE here because we literally don't know anything about the PvE. Let's start with defeat level first. I mentioned this in my last video as well, that like we can see there we have a level 32 Roger in the small picture. That's like as high as we've seen so far. We'll probably go a lot higher than that. But so far we've only seen defeat level progress by 1. But a lot of the text, which I said before, indicate that you can choose level. Sorrow's skill you can get allows you to get even higher level. So my guess is that you can actually skip these to progress faster, which will be interesting. Especially if like rewards get better the higher you get and so on. As for the actual PvE, like we have the final bosses, but we also have mid-battle bosses like Odin in this picture, where we know we get some rewards by beating them. But again, how will the battles work? And now we're getting back to the treasure map comparison. It's looking more and more likely that for each season, and I'm talking now about the 3-month period probably, we'll have a set number of bosses. Final boss will probably not change, like while it's Roger that is the free-to-play unit, we will be fighting Roger, but the mini-bosses might vary. And it looks like that, like in Treasure Map, they will remain mostly the same, but get more and more HP. So basically we have a system where you can increase your level by completing it. You have several bosses that will probably be pretty static in what they do, so you can build teams around them. That gets harder with as they level up. And we also probably have a mode where you get rewarded with good rewards every run you do. And it also has a stamina system where you can keep going, even though this is more limited. Like you might see why I'm talking about this like a Treasure Map 2.0, which is actually really, really good if it's like I predict that this will have different rewards than the normal Treasure Map. What I mainly worry about though is that I don't really want Trash Map 2.0 when it comes to PvE. Like, it's looking like my guess is that these are going to be like Super Boss-esque stuff. Like, I imagine there will be some debuffs and stuff, of course, but otherwise, probably the focus would be to just do a lot of damage. And I feel like we already have so much of that. Like, what I want personally is full ass random teams to fight with random debuffs. Try and handle this. Good luck. That's what I want. I don't think this is what we're getting. I hope I'm wrong, but probably going to be pretty set. Pretty easy. Main difficulty long term will be to do the damage. Which, sure, it's interesting, but pretty like that part is pretty similar to Super Boss already, of course, but one cool thing though is that it looks that the booster list won't be essential, so I guess that's one change between Treasure Map and Pyro King Adventures. Is there something else to talk about? I did mention trusted characters a bit. There is potential to buff them. Might be nice. Like, I'm not saying they are irrelevant, but like, it depends so much on various stuff like cooldown, for example. That will be a major question mark. Like, if they try and really screw us over with cooldown that basically forces boosted units, then that will kill a lot of the hype for this mode, in my book at least. But it's a bit too early to speculate, I'd say. As for PvP, I honestly don't care. I have no energy for PvP right now. I hope it's pretty irrelevant so I can skip it as much as possible. That's all I'll say. We'll talk about stamina a bit. I'm nothing more to say about that. We'll see what happens. I hope it's capped at 2 meat per day. That will make it viable long term to play this mode as long as possible. If we get 3 meat per day, then everybody is going to struggle and lose meat daily. Unless you get a lot of meat from this mode. I know some have speculated like when you finish the tutorial you get like 2 meat for doing that. Maybe you get guaranteed meat every run. That sounds like heavy copium to me, but fingers crossed. It's always nice to dream. And yes, for the shop, not much to say. Like, I'm not mentioning it in this video, but Super Cola might even be droppable. I think that's somewhat likely. It will obviously be low rate, but it makes sense to me that it can be dropped. And as for the units, like, we'll probably get some regular changes to them. There's still a lot of free-to-play units to pick from that aren't in this shop. But yeah, I think that does it for this video. That's all the current PKA speculation I had. Now I'm not going to talk about this mode before it actually launches. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.